It's Wednesday, January 14th, and today I'm just wondering about the Cowboys draft and what they might do. And then, if you need more evidence of how nuts college football is, I've got it for you.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Eyeing retirement? We aim to turn your nest egg into a paycheck with half the amount you've been led to believe. Fluent Financial combines in-house portfolio design risk management with income-generating investments designed to aid your financial independence. Our goal is to develop an effective portfolio strategy to help you retire sooner and have a better lifestyle. Fluent Financial can also implement a program that allows business owners to install a cash balance plan, which may potentially reduce income tax payments. You've worked hard to become successful. Let us help develop an effective portfolio strategy that works for you. Learn more today about Fluent Financial. Retire sooner, better lifestyle. For more information or to schedule a meeting, visit fluentfinancial.com or call 972-852-4800.
The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of holes in the football team, almost all of them on defense. The offense produced well. Now, whether or not they keep George Pickens is another matter. But the offense produced well last year. It was the defense that stunk. So the thinking is, and rightly so, that the Cowboys will use their draft picks, the two number ones they have, to support their defense. And I think that's good thinking. I think that makes sense. And the draft itself sort of plays out that way for the Cowboys. Now, we'll take you through some scenarios in this draft. But the importance of the two first-rounders, number 12 and number 20, cannot be underscored enough. The Cowboys have no second-round choice and no third-round choice. After those two number ones, the Cowboys will wait close to 100 picks before they make another selection. And later on in this draft, after those two number ones, the Cowboys have 1-4, 3 number 5s probably, including a couple of comps, and those are right at the end of the 5th round, and a 7th rounder. But the importance of hitting on those two number ones cannot be stressed enough. Okay, let's go to the 12th pick. I've got 3 players' names for you. I personally believe that the Cowboys need a stay-at-home, run the defense, plug the holes, cover a running back, middle linebacker. And that's Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. Now, will he get to the Cowboys? A little dicey. Okay, the second possibility. Same school, Ohio State. A safety that runs the field on defense. Caleb Downs. Outstanding player. Will he get to the Cowboys? A little more dicey than Sonny Styles. I expect Downs to go 7, 8, 9, 10 in this draft. What if Downs and Styles aren't there when the Cowboys pick? Well, that will necessarily mean that somebody else has gotten pushed down the draft, hasn't been selected, and pushed down the draft. And for me, that might be Harold Baines, the defensive end from Miami. Baines is a really good player, and I think that's the area he's going to be taken. 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, 2 things. First, let's talk about what's happening in the picks before the Cowboys. Something I think really bad happened for the Cowboys in one of the national championship playoff games. Dante Moore, the quarterback for Oregon, was probably going to go off the board at least in the top 5, maybe number 2, after Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, went number 1. But Moore had such a terrible game against Indiana. A pick, 3 fumbles, and he looked small. He almost looked frail when you looked at him. And Moore right now still hasn't declared for the NFL draft. He's taking the last couple of days, and that's all they've got in the transfer portal. He's got a couple more days to decide whether or not he goes back to Oregon or declares for the NFL draft. Now, his problem of going back to Oregon is Oregon has already signed what they feel will be their quarterback next year, and that's the kid Raiola transferring from Nebraska. But if Moore goes in this draft, his standing could have tumbled badly, and that's not good for the Cowboys. You want Moore in this draft, and you want him to go in the top 11 picks, because that forces one more player down to you. That player could be Downs, or it could be Styles, or it could be Baines. Okay, for me, I'd like Styles. Not that I don't like Downs. I love Downs. Really love Baines. But it's the second number 1 where the Cowboys, I think, are in line to get a defensive back, a cornerback. And I'm not so sure you want to use both first-round picks on defensive back, Downs, and then later at number 20, a corner. There are 4 players there that will be available. I think at least 3 of them will be available when the Cowboys draft at number 20. The most interesting name is a kid named Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. Here's his story. He was in line to be a top 10 pick in the draft, and then he blew out an ACL. And he did not play at all last year for Tennessee. And now he's in the draft. His workouts, combine workouts, pro day workouts are going to be critical here, if he can fully work out yet. Because if he can't, you're going to have to take Jermod McCoy on faith that he'll fully heal. Now, the Cowboys did that last year with the cornerback, with the kid Ravel from East Carolina. And he looked a little dicey, but now he just was activated in the middle of the season and yada on a bad defense. But Jermod McCoy is really interesting. Someone with real faith might even take him before the Cowboys pick at 12, though I think that's a bit of a longer shot. The other 3 corners, Mansour Delane from LSU, Avion Terrell from Clemson, and Brandon Cisse from South Carolina. The interesting thing is all of them figure to go in the 16 to 25 range. So the Cowboys might well look at pick 20 and say, hey, we can get our defensive back there. We can get our cornerback there. And lean more toward perhaps Styles, whom I really like, or Baines with the first pick, if both of them are there. Okay, let's go to the second scenario about the pick at 20. That's a good pick. And while some quarterbacks may not go in the top 3 or 4 or 5, as you go through round 1, Moore, if he's in the draft, and maybe the Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson will attract teams. Now, the pick at 20 is just ahead of Pittsburgh at 21. And there's thinking that Pittsburgh might take the quarterback Simpson. So, might another team who wants him deal with the Cowboys? The Cowboys would drop down, hopefully just later in the first round, and pick up another prime pick. A second, a third and a fourth, something like that, a second and a fifth. That's a scenario that we should keep alive also. But we finish this by saying we cannot underscore enough. Cowboys can't be drafting a Mosley Smith here. They can't be drafting a Tyler Guyton here. They thought Luke Schoonmaker was going to take over as the tight end. Looks like Schoonmaker's now losing his grip on the number 2 tight end positions. And they took him in the second round. The Cowboys cannot have that happen. They have too many holes, and they only have 2 picks in the first 100 plus players. And if the Cowboys are going to turn this defense around, it's got to start with this draft. And, of course, free agency. Next, if you really don't want to think the way I think in college football, well, we've got more information for you about how crazy that sport is getting. And that's next. What do you want from your favorite restaurant? Fantastic personal service, a cheery, welcoming, spotless atmosphere, and, of course, great food. The primest of beef, wagyu and lamb, incredibly fresh seafood, lobster, salmon, shrimp, Hall of Fame food from a Hall of Fame restaurant. 2 locations of Bob's Steak and Chop House, the original Bob's on Lemon Avenue, and the gorgeous new Bob's at Craig Ranch, McKinney.
My wife Mary is the co-creator of Full Moon Healing Balm, and I guess I'm the reason this terrific cream was developed. A few years ago, I began getting these huge, ugly blood blotches just beneath the skin of my arms and hands. The condition's called senile purpura. And no, you don't have to be senile to experience this embarrassment. It happens as you age. And then to cover it up, we begin wearing long sleeves even when it's hot. It took 2 years working with a New Jersey lab to refine the all-natural ingredients of Full Moon Healing. Gently massage a very small amount into the skin, and within a day, the blotches begin to fade. Senile purpura usually takes weeks to disappear, but this balm cuts the timeline to about a week. And ordering's so easy. Just go to the website, fullmoonhealingco.com.
The transfer portal for college football closes on Friday. That's where kids have the right to say, okay, I just want to transfer. And they put their name in the portal. And there are thousands, literally. That's how crazy college football has gotten. Thousands, kids from a lot of lower places. North Dakota State, which is a pretty high lower place. Ferris State, loads of places like that. They jump in the portal. Who's the portal winner so far? By the way, the players from Miami and Indiana play in the national championship game. They have an extra 5 days next week to jump in the portal. That way they can finish their whatever with Miami and Indiana, and then if they choose, jump in the portal. Who's the winner so far? Who's gotten the best transfer classes? Well, the Blue Bloods, Indiana. Can you believe we're calling Indiana a blue blood? Well, it looks like they are. Indiana, Texas Tech, which got a terrific quarterback, a kid named Sorsby out of Cincinnati, and A&M, OU did well, and Clemson, which hasn't really participated much in the portal in the past, has jumped in and they've gotten 8, 9 pretty good-looking players. But when we think of the transfer portal, we think in those terms. Oh, they got 8 or 9 players. Oh, no, that's not true. The numbers are far greater than that. Indiana and A&M and Texas Tech, and Oklahoma, they're all in double digits in transfers. When you're talking about quantity, well, we got 2 schools for you. At Penn State, they hired a new coach, Matt Campbell from Iowa State. Matt Campbell has gotten 29 transfers into Penn State. But check this. 21 of them from Iowa State. That's right, 21 players have left Iowa State to join Campbell at Penn State. Good luck to the new guy at Iowa State, by the way. And then there's Oklahoma State. New coach there also. Eric Morris left North Texas to go to Oklahoma State. At last count, Oklahoma State had signed 33 transfers. 33! And 15 of them leaving North Texas State to step way up the ladder in competition to Oklahoma State. 15 North Texas State players, including the North Texas State long snapper. We've talked in the past here several times about how crazy this sport has gotten. But if you want to believe someone else from inside the sport, then I've got that person for you. He's Chris Kleiman. In December, he quit as the head coach at Kansas State. He retired. He's not going anyplace else. He's a lifer. Chris Kleiman is a football coach. He started at 23 years old. Listen to these outposts where Chris Kleiman climbed the ladder. Northern Iowa, Western Illinois, Kansas, Missouri State, Loras College, Loras, 5 years at Loras College. Back to Northern Iowa, North Dakota State, and finally the head coach at that Power Division I program. In 5 years at North Dakota State, Chris Kleiman went 69-6. I repeat, 69-6. In his 5 years, he won 4 Division I championships. And then on to Kansas State. Tough place to coach. In 7 years there, Chris Kleiman's teams have gone 54-34. They went to 5 bowls. Could have been 6 this year, but the players voted not to go this year. He produced a Big 12 championship, And he developed good players. Terrence Newman, the former Cowboy defensive back. Yeah. Connor Beebe, the Cowboys' current starting center. They're Chris Kleiman exes. But now he's leaving because Chris Kleiman is fed up with college football. In his retirement, he said the lack of guardrails around players transferring created just too much stress on the job. He told the Manhattan Mercury, that's the hometown paper of Kansas State, quote, "I've been doing this for 35 years, but I'd die if I keep doing this job. I was going to have a heart attack, or I was going to have a stroke. My blood pressure went through the roof." He told the newspaper that players keep wanting compensation deals, and they want to be able to enter the transfer portal to just field offers for other teams, and that wore him down. Again, a quote from Chris Kleiman. "I was kind of at my wit's end. I don't blame any of these kids. It's not their fault. But you get done playing a game against Colorado, and come Monday, man, there's 20 players' agents that want to know a number, how much they're going to get, or they're going to get in the transfer portal." Chris Kleiman's 58 years old. He's incredibly successful. He had 7 years left on his Kansas State contract. This is a game Chris Kleiman loved, but he's now gone, driven into retirement by how terribly crazy college football has become. He's gone because no one's minding the store anymore. In a game now taken over by the flightiness of 19-year-olds. And a game now taken over by agents and money.
And now a word from our title sponsor. Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Earlier, Live Better, and by Bob's Steak and Chop House on Lemon in Dallas and in Craig Ranch in McKinney. Bob's, a Dallas tradition for more than 30 years.
If you've enjoyed Just Wondering, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will land in your mailbox early every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. Should you know a sports fan who might like our work, please share our contact information with that person. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. I'm Norm Hitzges, and know that every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitzges, and I'll just be wondering too.
This is a Stolen Water Media production.